Right then, hello, welcome back to That Mill podcast. We're in August, it's 2025, and we're gearing up for the 25-26 season. Joining myself, Omer, today, to my left-hand side, I've got Jay. Hello, mate, how are you?
Yeah, even Omar, even Frank, all good, mate. Looking forward to almost being on the eve of the new season, mate. Buzzing.
Hope anticipation is starting to breed in, so let's bring in Frankie, mate. How you feeling, mate? You good?
Yeah, very good, mate. How you boys doing? You alright?
Not too
All good,
shabby.
mate.
Today's video is going to be a take of across the championship. We're going to be giving our 24th to first place or first to 24th predictions on where we think each team's going to lie in the championship table. Spoiler alert, we will include Millwall in this. So if you want to see the Mill prediction, I'm sure it'll come up at some point. Maybe if you're in the comments below, be sure to put your 24th to first predictions in. And obviously, we'll be sure to put some graphics up towards the end of the video to show you who we've got where. So if you're new around here, be sure to like the video, subscribe if you're new, and I'll cue the intro and we'll go straight into things.
Language you don't usually hear on television. Millwall in London's Dockland.
No one likes it, but we don't care. We're that Millwall podcast. Loud every Friday night right here. Legends like Jimmy and Abdul take a share in the kitchen of two. Super Neil Harris, a fucking legend too. Through the good times when the strife, we support the Lions all our life. This ain't no place for fancy feet. This is fucking Millwall through and through. Located on our very own John Pedersen way. Let them all come, let them have their say. Millwall till we die. With that Millwall podcast, loud every Friday night right here.
Right then, let's go straight to it. 24th place. No surprises from me. I'm putting Sheffield Wednesday, boys. I'm just going to go out of it straight away. And I'm going to come to Frankie next. So you've got the same as me, 24th place, mate?
It's got to be in it, really. I'd like to be interested in the same as someone else, but no, it has to be.
Jay?
Yeah, Sheffield Wednesday, and look, it's a shame, innit? It is a shame what's happening there, but they haven't got any fixtures lined up from their pre-season. They've cancelled them all. They've lost key players. They lost their manager. They've hired in Rick Pedersen. There's multiple breaches. We don't even know if they're even going to be allowed to see the season out, if they're going to be allowed to start it. So, yeah, I think the quick and easy one to get out of the way is definitely going to be Sheffield Wednesday on mine as well.
I don't think we need to talk much more about them, but I mean, it's just a sorry state of effect, isn't it? I think it's a shame to see a club like Sheffield Wednesday going in this direction. Obviously, we see the story of Morecambe, obviously years gone by, Bury and all of such, all these clubs, but it's just a travesty, isn't it, Frankie? Like, it's the fact that this can happen and it can, no one can step in and stop it, more or less. And it's just, we never want to have that day happen to us. It could have happened about 20 years ago, funny enough, to Millwall, but it's just shit affairs for everyone concerned for Sheffield Wednesday, isn't it?
Yeah, it's always the same to see such a big football club as well share that sort of fate. So probably a warning to that it could be any club, it could be us in the future. You never know. So hopefully it gets sorted. Hopefully Chancery does the right thing and gives the club a chance to fight another day.
To lift a little bit about what's happening, Jay is keeping notes of our predictions and who we're contrasting with. I've got a feeling we'll agree with 24th and maybe first, and I think the rest of it might be open and a bit ambiguous. But Jay, who have you got for 23rd place, mate? I'll come to you next.
So for 23rd place, I'm going with Oxford. They filtered around the drop zone last season. I don't really like what they've done in terms of their transfers. They lost that Idris El Mizuni, I think, is a really good player. Josh McEachran that they had. But they have retained, Tyler Goodwin, someone that we looked at in our players that we in our wish list, Frank. But yeah, I just don't think they've improved enough for me. Rowett's a fantastic championship manager. Might be the reason they stay up. It definitely won't be because of their squad. But yeah, I've got them at 23rd.
Interesting take. 23rd for me. I put Hull City, boys. I think a bit of a basket case of the club in recent years. The ownership is kind of dictatorialship. It feels like. They're a bit all over the place at times. And also they've got a manager that's a bit untested at this level. I mean, it's a common theme for them since Liberty Senior's gone. But I've gone for Hull City 23rd place. What do you reckon, Frankie?
I think that's quite low for Hull, if I'm going to be completely honest. I mean, we'll obviously get to my put the thoughts on them later. 23rd, I'm going to go with what Jay said, mate. I think Oxford will be right down there. I think there'll be a little bit of a second season syndrome where they won't be able to pick up some of them early points that saved them last year. I think it could be a long old year for Oxford. They've probably got the worst. They've got the second worst squad in the league, right? Let's be honest. So, yeah, second from bottom for me, 23rd.
It's interesting. I mean, I know we've not really agreed on how we're exactly going to do this, and we're going to lift the lid a little bit here. But I've got Oxford 16th place, and it's because of Gary Rowett. So you maybe add it to your list now if you want, Jay. But
that's interesting.
I don't think you can underestimate when you looked at our squads. Let's not forget when we had Ollie Burke and all the likes playing for us. We nearly finished 6th place in the Championship, and there's something to Gary Rowett that I think will be close down the bottom. You know, once you start to predict, I don't think it. You know, places from 24th up to 23rd if you rule out Sheffield Wednesday, up to about 15th. Like last season, everyone might have a chance of going down. But I just think Gary Rowett's effect. We'll have to see. I mean, 22nd place, I've put Preston North End boys. Jay, where you got 22nd, mate?
I've gone with Watford. I think Watford have finished. Honestly, I mean, they're so bad. They are so bad. They're on yet another managerial change. I don't like what they've done in the transfer window. They've lost key players as well. I thought Cleverley would probably have done a good job. Eventually, I thought he would have probably done enough to see them finish at mid-table. They were sort of getting some momentum. They've had a lot of build-up and chaos over their sponsorship. The fans are in rioting at the moment, and this is their 5th manager in 18 months. I just think Watford are doomed.
I think they've had 25 managers about 10 years, Frankie, fellas, haven't they? But I mean, who have you got in 22nd, mate?
Preston.
There you go. So we're in agreement with that one.
I just don't think they've done anywhere near enough. Their squad's weak, and their manager seems to just hate the football club, which ain't great. So yeah, it'd be a struggle down there for them.
Who you got 21st then, Frankie? I'll come back to you again, mate.
QPR. I think
Wow.
they've lost some decent players, and the biggest loss is their manager. I saw a stat earlier that over the last 2 years, they were like something silly like 21st in the league for home form, which is horrific. And that was when they had a good manager. Now they have an unknown. All right, they've got Poku. Is that a difference maker? Not for me.
We're so different. This is going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
Read into what we've said, more importantly, but yeah, it's interesting take. I mean, I'll deviate a little bit, but I've got QPR 18, so I think they'll be down there in fairness. I mean, so different. I know we're trying to keep structure, Jay, but what have you got then for QPR? I'm curious to know.
I'm not going to say, because it's going to, when I do say it, you're going to, either your heads are going to explode. I don't know how you're going to react now. I think 21st and 18th. I mean, we'll touch on 18 when we get to it properly. But yeah. I mean, this is going to get wild after the bottom half. I'm telling you. So I'll keep that to myself for that.
If you've gone anywhere above 12, you should never be invited back.
Well, you just wait, boys. I'm telling you. I'm going to get. I'll tell you what. I'm either going to get absolute pelters from YouTube, which I know is coming, or the chat when this is watched back is going to absolutely crucify me. But I've actually got some good reasoning behind it. I haven't just picked teams. I've gone a bit methodical. I've done a bit of research, and we'll see. And just make sure you've got a nice cushion next to your chairs in case for when you fall off. All right.
Who's your 21st, Jay? Then tell us, mate.
21st. Then I've actually gone with Hull City at this point. I think this is where Hull are going to finish up. I kind of like the fact that they're getting that Geldhart. They're looking at, he's probably going to come back to Hull. They're sort of retained a few of their players. They are under a bit of an embargo, but they've made some really good loan moves and some good free moves. So I do like what they've done at the minute. Obviously, Ruben Sellerless, Tim Walter, I actually think is going to do pretty well for them. So they have made some smart signings considering their situation, but it won't be enough to have a really good season or even a good season. But I do think it'll keep them up.
My 21st is Swansea City. Similar sort of thing of they've been around the Championship for a long time. I feel like they're on a downward decline a bit, to be honest, Swansea. And they have been for the last 3 or 4 years, I feel like, to be honest. That's just my personal take again. It'd be interesting coming back to this at the end of the season, and we will make sure to do a reaction to this to see where we're at. We're trying to keep a mean sort of table together, Jay. So what have we got so far that we're kind of in unison with at least? What have we got?
So starting at 24th, we've all gone with Sheffield Wednesday. So the consensus pick for the show at the moment is Sheffield Wednesday in 24th. Myself and Frankie in 23rd picks Oxford United, while Omar picked Hull City. So the consensus pick there is Oxford United finishing 23rd. And making up the relegation places so far, the consensus was with Omar and Frankie with Preston North End. I picked Watford to not beat the drop. So the consensus bottom three so far is Preston, Oxford and Sheffield Wednesday.
Do we put Hull 21st then? Because I've got Hull on 23rd for me. Are we happy with that? Where have you got Hull, Frankie?
Hull was my next pick, mate. I've got Hull at 20th, so
I think Hull at 21st.
And Hull was my 21st, so we're going to go with Hull was the consensus.
I think they're going to get relegated, but I'll agree to 21st. I'll take that.
Can I just point out this is a Millwall podcast, 3 Millwall fans, and none of us have got Charlton getting relegated.
We'll touch on them, I suppose, in a minute because they're not far behind.
Which I think is a disgrace. What we're doing.
Well, I think we will touch them in a minute, but it's just, summer signings compared to these other basket clubs, basket case, should we say. It's, so you got Hull 20th place, did you say? Sorry, Frankie.
Yes, mate.
And what about you, Jay? Who's 20 for you?
So in 20 for me, I have, 1 second, I got Portsmouth. Oh, sorry, no, I haven't. In 20th, I've got Preston.
Right, okay.
I've got Preston finishing 20th. They did slide, they did slide down the table. They have lost some key players, but I do think that their depth is much better than the 4 teams below them, but I don't think it's any better than the teams above them. So I think they're going to continue this slide. I think, in my opinion, and I think if they're not relegated this year, and they'll finish just outside it by my prediction, I think next year, if they don't drastically improve in the summer window or even in January, I think they've got next year.
Interesting take. Bristol City to finish 20th in my predictions.
Bristol City, wow, man, this is great.
I think for Bristol City in particular, okay, Emil Rees on a free transfer from Preston, nice. But I look through their squad and I don't see I think they're going to be down there. I think they'll be safe, but I look at them and looking through their options, and obviously losing Manning. Let's not forget who's gone to Norwich and stuff. I do think there's something there where it's got potential for the wheels to come firmly off the bus, to be honest. And yeah, I got Bristol City 20th there, so I don't know how we're going to get consensus to there. So maybe we should go to our 19th place teams and go from there. I've got Portsmouth in 19th, so I think Pompey.
Well, what did you have at 20th, Frank?
Hull, mate.
He had Hull.
You did have Hull. Sorry, yeah, man.
So I've got Portsmouth 19th. John Mousinho, good manager, kept him up last season. I just don't think I can't see Portsmouth kicking on much beyond where they were at last season. Really, they've done well towards the end of the season to secure their status before the last day of the season. I think they're going to be in a similar position this year, and I think if you're a Portsmouth fan, I imagine they'll take that. To be honest, so I've got Portsmouth in 19th place. What about you, Frankie, mate? Who's 19th for you?
It's really interesting you said that, so I've got Wrexham, and pretty much for the exact opposite reason. I think they've got the worst manager in the league. If you was to sit there and actually go through who's got championship pedigree, I know there's a few unknowns, but I think he's a poor manager, and the only reason they'll finish as high as 19th is because they'll sack him. So that I've got Wrexham in 19th.
What is it, Jay? Back-to-back promotions for Wrexham. I understand Frankie's point there. But I think I can see some Wrexham fans, if we was to post this clip out online, I might do it just for the shits and giggles to see what the reaction would be to it.
I'd have won that league, mate. They had the biggest budget by an absolute mile. Like, Jay would have won that league, and he thinks QPR are going to finish top 4. So,
you ain't far off. No, look, well, my Wrexham. I'll talk about why I think my Wrexham pick is. I just think they've done enough business of good championship business that's going to see them, have a good enough season as opposed to the teams around them. I definitely think they'd finish above Charlton. Old Charlton have brought a lot of players in. There are a lot of average League One players, in my opinion, whereas Wrexham have brought in a lot of, you could say, average to above average championship players, but players that know the league. Experience is everything in this division, especially when you're a newcomer. So we've gone with you went with Wrexham. I actually went with Portsmouth as well at 19th. I've got Portsmouth for the exact same reasons. They have lost a couple of players, but I do like Mousinho. I think he's going to probably have a bit of a prosperous career. I think he'll manage some bigger clubs than Portsmouth, and I think he's probably the main reason why they'll stay up. And Fratton Park is a difficult place to go on the best and the worst of days. So I don't think they go down at all. I think they comfortably finish 19th. I don't think they'll be in any danger.
So that's our consensus pick 19th then, I think, Jay, because we're in agreement there. So we haven't got one for 20th, have we?
No, but we can leave any unconsensus pick to the ends and battle them
All
out.
right then. Cool. So 18th place, Frankie, who you got, mate?
Our friends from down the road, Charlton Athletic. I agree with what you said. I think if you look at their signings, there's a lot of League One players, but I think they've got a manager that's probably worth about 15 points in this league just through shit ass football, really, and being hard to beat. And I think he'll be the reason they stay up. It could be interesting if someone better comes in for him and he then walks. So let's see. But yeah, 18th Charlton Athletic.
I want to give my 18th, which is QPR. So there you go, Jay. There's my QPR shout, 18th place. But I have got Charlton in 17th, just to add to that, because obviously, in relation to what Frankie just said there, I can't give Nathan Jones any credit because I just look at the geezer and can't stand him, to be honest, as far as I throw him. I just think he's the most obnoxious, arrogant. I can't even begin to say he's worth 1 point in the Championship. But I agree with what you're saying, Frankie, but I just can't bring myself to say it myself. So there you go. 18th, I've got QPR, 17th, Charlton. Go on, give me a 17th, Frankie, whilst we're at as well.
17th for me, again, very in keeping with what you said. Portsmouth. I don't think it's a great squad. I don't think they'll ever be in real trouble, but I think they'll find this year really difficult. A bit of a second season syndrome almost.
Right. Jay, over to you for your 18th and 17th then, I think, mate.
Yeah, I've gone with Charlton as well for 18th. I think they've signed a lot of bang average League One players. But I do think that the players they have signed, there's a lot of youth there. There is a lot of prospects there. I do think it'd be enough for him to beat the drop. And Nathan Jones, he's just one of them. He's just a prick and he's an arsehole. They'll get the TV games. You know, if there's a TV game available, who can they put on it? It'd be Nathan Jones playing up to the cameras, and they'll lap that up. So that, you know, they're just destined to stay in the league, aren't they? So I do think they finish 18th, which gives us a consensus. My 17th. I mean, you went with Charlton, Omar, and you went with Portsmouth, Frankie. I've gone with Blackburn Rovers. I think Blackburn completely capitulated this year. They lost Tyrese Dolan. They've just lost Callum Britton at right back, two of the arguably the biggest players in that team. They've lost other players. You know, Wyman's gone over to Derby now as well. They look set to lose Lewis Travis as well, I believe, to Derby. I just think Blackburn are in free fall. And why they had that little resurgence at the end of the season, I honestly don't put that down to the manager. I think the manager's terrible. I'll put that down to the likes of Tyrese Dolan and people like that playing for a move away. That's what I put that down to. So, I don't like Blackburn at all. Partly for the fact that I drove obviously 5 hours up there in the pissing down rain with the playoffs on the line and we got pumped for 1. And me and Omar had to wait half an hour to get out of a shitty little car park that housed 40 cars. They can only get 3 of them in. I fucking hate Blackburn, but they finished 17th for me. I just really think they're a poor side, gents. I really do.
I do agree with you, but I've sworn myself not to go back to Blackburn in the first place. But also, I don't think I could be critical of them either anymore because they seem to have our number. It's just I've got further up with my table. So have we got any?
We have no consensus on. We have no consensus there at the moment on 17. So no consensus.
Okay, so Jay, you might not give me a 16th place, Jay.
So my 16th place, this was quite a tough one because I think now it gets to the point where this is kind of not a bad position. You're kind of safe. You're kind of not really anything. But I went with Stoke. I don't think Stoke are going to be as bad as they were last season. I like Mark Robins. I think he's a good manager. I think eventually he will get a tune out of them. I believe that bad managers get instant impact. Good managers take time to get their philosophies in. I think Mark Robins falls into that camp. So I think they'll be a lot better, but no better than 16th.
Interesting. I've got Oxford 16th, just to Gary Wright effect. I mentioned it earlier on. So there you go. That's my 16th. Frankie, your 16th, mate?
I've got Stoke City, mate. Interestingly, I think Robins is a good manager, but I don't think 16th will ever be good enough for Stoke. I think there will be another battle down there throughout large parts of the season. Yeah. And Mark Robins does not finish the season.
Oh, that's an interesting take.
I've got him finishing 10th. I'm going to throw it in there to the mix because of Mark Robins. So there you go. I think, do you know what, in fairness, I'm suggesting we give our 16th to 10th here and just thrash them out because this is the no man's land middle like you referred to, Jay. Like, I'm kind of like, At this point, I'm happy to give you up 16th to 10th, in my opinion. If you want my 16th to 10th, Jay, I can read them out to you.
I'm enjoying going one by one, though. I think it's quite fun.
Oh, yeah. Okay, fine.
I'm enjoying going one by one. There's some cliffbangers dropping in there. I think you'll give too many people not time to process it. I'm enjoying it.
I think Stoke signing Aaron Creswell is a bit of a masterstroke as well. I do like that signing for the Championship, for what it's worth.
Yeah, that is good.
And I think he'll do well at this level at left back for them. I know he's 34, 35, but go on, Franco.
Having him 10th though, Stoke are one of them sides now. For me, they could sign Messi and Ronaldo, and they'd still finish bottom half, mate. Like they're just perpetually shit. There's something in their DNA. That club is broken. There's a cultural issue there. They will finish bottom half, and they could have Guardiola, the best side in the world, and they will still finish bottom half.
Do you know what it is, Frankie? I've done these 1 to 24s like the last 3 or 4 seasons on this podcast, right? And I've concluded I put time and effort into it. I check the odds out, I check out the signings, and I look through the leagues, and I typically get it so terribly wrong, even though you put so much effort into it, which is why the Championship is the most unpredictable league in the world, etc., etc. You throw out to it, right? But what I've done this year, I've just listed clubs one by one and done higher or lower. And I've gone teams that I think, yeah, they're better than that team or worse than that team. And I've thrown into the mix some of the transfers and then change it around afterwards. So that's why I've come to this conclusion, because I think the Championship is very evenly matched this year. It always is. But this year it does feel like it's a bit, I think people can have all sorts of predictions. I think you can probably guess who's going to be 24th and who's going to be first. And I think the rest of it's going to be a bit of a scramble this year, to be totally honest. Like, you won't, I think there'll be a team that we've got in our bottom 6 that might finish in the playoffs this year. And it wouldn't surprise me. It has happened on years gone by, right? So this year I've took a different approach to my 1 to 24s where I've gone higher or lower than that team, higher or lower than that team, and then start grouping them together. But I do take your point. Stoke are 10th place doesn't mean I think they're going to do amazing. It just means that I think they can do better than what they have done the last few seasons.
Yeah,
exactly. Joe, have we given you your 16th?
Yeah, Stoke City. So the consensus for 16th is Stoke City.
Cool. Do you want to give us your 15th whilst you're right, mate?
Yeah, Swansea. I went with Swansea. I think, I don't think that they're not a terrible side. They had a really good run. I don't think they're a great side. They're trying to, sign a striker. They've offered big money for Richard Kone and others. So, I think that their squad is okay. I don't think it's great. So I've gone with 15th.
Frankie, 15th for you, mate?
Blackburn Rovers. And Joe, all the reasons Joe listed earlier, poor-ish squad. They're due the wheels falling off, aren't they? Really, to be honest, don't rate the manager, and it feels like there might be a little bit of trouble behind the scenes as well. So, 15th, and they'll do well to finish 15th.
I must be a fan of the Lancashire / up and northern clubs a little bit, because I've got both Blackburn and Stoke a bit higher than what you have in conclusion. My 15th place is Watford. I think Watford compete in the Championship. Their squad, I know they got rid of Tom Cleverley, but you flick through their squad and look at their players, got a good goalie and goal still, and I flick through their players, and Jeremy Njika is always good at this level. You look at their forward line, obviously Sissoko's still there in midfield. There's good options. It's a big squad. I think they'll compete and be mid-table for Watford for me. So 15th place Watford. 14th, I've probably gone low on these, probably in comparison to you two, I reckon, but I've gone Derby County. John Eustace, obviously in charge. I think he'll stabilise them this year. I think they want a consistent, steady season. Jay's smirking away over there, so I've got a feeling Jay's gone a bit big on Derby. But I think, look, you can't knock their signings, Derby County, absolutely. I do agree with where everyone's coming from with that. But I do think, let's not forget, they were struggling down the bottom last year. And I think this year they're going to stabilise under Eustace. He's not going to play pretty football. We saw it last season when we played them. They're not going to win more than they lose. They're probably going to be middle of the road. I think that's where they're going to be. A bit like Gary Rowett's sort of Millwall teams would be in the part of years gone by. So 14th, I've got Derby. Go on, Jay. Who you got 14th, mate?
I've gone with Middlesbrough. I've gone with Borough. I don't like what's going on. They look like they're going to lose Hayden Hackney. They have lost others. They signed Cannon Britton. They was in on Alfie Doughty. I think Rob Edwards was a product of a great situation at Luton that he completely and utterly destroyed. Borough is not going to get the same time or appreciation from the fans. I think it's going to be a mess. I really do. They've also got some aging players in there, some injury-prone players. Azaz was a massive player for them, fell off at the end. I think Borough.
How about you, Frankie, mate?
Middlesbrough. And Joe is exactly the same, mate. I think they're the worst they've looked in a long time. They've downgraded, in my opinion, at manager. And to sack your manager, get someone else in, and only sign one player for that manager seems baffling. I can't see him doing well this year.
Forward attack with Tommy Conway, Morgan Whitaker. You know, I still think they're decent side. I'll take your guys' points.
They are a decent side, yeah.
And then you think Hayden Hatley in midfield's always decent as well.
He
Interesting.
won't be there.
Do you think so, though?
No chance.
It won't be there. He'll be gone.
All right, then. 13th place, Jay. Who you got?
13th, I went with West Brom. I actually really like Ryan Mason. I've sort of touted him the last couple managerial cycles at Millwall. I think he's going to be a really good young manager. I don't think that's going to happen in his first season. I think he's going to have a welcome to management kind of situation. They are a bit strapped for cash as well. They've got some aging players that they can't shift, like to Jed Wallace. They have lost some key players, like to Swift in midfield as well. So yeah, I do think that they have a bit of an identity crisis under the new manager, and obviously where they can't spend the big bucks. I just think that they'll reach their limits, and I think their limits are 13th place.
I've got 13th place Wrexham, but I also want to give you my 12th because it's West Brom. So I do have 12th West Brom just to throw into our mean calculator here. But 13th Wrexham, I think a lot's been said obviously already by the transfers. I think when Frankie mentioned them being further down the league because of obviously Phil Parkinson, I do agree somewhat with that. But I don't think they're going to. A lot of their fans, I'm in a championship group chat where like add all the clubs in there to do crossovers and podcasts and stuff like that. They're coming in thinking they're going to get playoffs again. I mean, when you get back to back promotions, I do kind of understand where that kind of, you know, delusion comes from, maybe, or optimism. I'll call it optimism for their sake. But I do think a lot of their signings are championship ready, but also very aging championship ready signings. And I think the championship's moved on a lot from what we're known it to be, where it's, you know, game ready and players that are going to compete. It'll take you as far as mid-table, I think. So 13th place, Wrexham. Frankie, who you got, mate?
Bristol City. I think they're due a massive drop off. I think one of you had them a lot lower, didn't you?
I did.
Yeah, and you know what? For the exact same reasons, I think they'll drop off. I don't think they'll drop off quite as dramatically as you think they will, but there won't be. I think there'll be a hangover as well from that playoff semi-final defeat, because that was pretty embarrassing, to be fair. Yeah. I think they'll struggle because of that.
Well, I've actually got Bristol City in 12.
Okay.
So we've kind of got Bristol City and West Brom 12th and 13th. So, I mean, I'm happy to go with a consensus on 12th and 13th being Bristol City, West Brom.
Yeah, fine with me. Who's your 12th, Frankie?
I can tell you I had West Brom 11th.
Okay.
So if we say West Brom be the 12th, as we've got them as the higher pick out of the two.
Yeah, sounds good to
West
me.
Brom 12th, and we'll go with Bristol City in 13th.
Do you want to know my 12th quickly, mate? So that might help you with a couple of other consensus ones as well.
Okay.
I've got Watford in 12th. I think they'll do all right. They'll have just enough to stay top half, as they always seem to.
So we could really put Watford in the consensus for maybe 15th then. If you've got them 12th, Omar's got them 15th.
Mm-hmm. And where have you got them, Jay?
I had them getting relegated.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, we'll do that. We'll go 15th. That works.
And we could go with Blackburn being the consensus for 17th then, because we only had a couple places to separate them.
And where do we who have we got left to determine there, further down?
And I think we should probably go with... We still need a consensus for 17th, for 20th.
I mean, I think me and Frankie put QPR, didn't we? Further down. But
You're going to put the QPR. You can put QPR as the consensus there.
Well, I think we should hold fire till we'll see what you've got for us, mate, because we might have to shift some teams down. But
yeah, this is a work in progress, isn't it? Yeah. but we're on to 11 anyway, and I might as well kick this off because I've gone Coventry. I think Frank Lampard's a bad manager, and I think he always has this impact where it looks like they're really good and he's going to do really well, like he did at Derby, Everton, Chelsea, etc., and then they actually start implementing his tactics and his day-to-day managerial style, and it all falls to absolute shit. I just don't think Coventry are going to be very good next year, and I think Frank Lampard will be the big reason behind that.
Interesting.
Omar, I'm looking at your face, mate, and I think we might have both done the same thing.
Yeah, I'll keep it going until later in the show, just like I'll wait for this QPR prediction. But I've got a little way to go before I get to Coventry.
You're not going to think I'm a fucking idiot, mate. I'm telling you, it's going to be.
Good enough.
And I'm all here for it. I'm here all for it. It's fun.
I've got 11th place Blackburn Rovers. So there you go. There's my
Okay.
Blackburn Rovers shout. So I think Blackburn just do well at home. They carried enough themselves. They've got some decent players in there still. I
fair.
see the Britain shout and Travis leaving and stuff, but 11th place got Blackburn. Yeah. And I've got Stoke 10th because I know they came up early in the conversation as well. I don't think we should populate them in there for my 10th place as well. Right,
Yeah, already done that. I was listening.
Perfect. Cool. Frankie, who have you got 11th, mate?
West Brom, I had 11th.
And then 10th.
Swansea. I think they're going to do all right this year. I thought they were a decent little side towards back end of last season. I thought they were one of the better sides I saw at the Den. They're not quite as painful, boring possession as they used to be. Their manager is an unknown, and there could be a massive drop off in his first full season. So it's one where I've got them 10th. If they finished 17th, it would not shock me at all.
Or 21st, like I predicted. Thank you.
Not quite.
Okay.
But whatever.
Jay, over to you, mate. 11th and 10th, mate. If we've got covered them already.
Obviously, Coventry is my 11th. We haven't got a consensus. I think we'll leave the consensuses now for the top 10 until we see the damage. But I've gone with Norwich City. I've gone with Wrexham 10th. I just think that the signings that they've made have been really, really good of Championship calibre. There's a lot of experience there. I think Parkinson's an absolute wanker, but he's very experienced, been around the Football League for a very long time. I think the money that they'll spend in January if things aren't going too well, I think they've got that behind them to do that. They're also looking at loaning the very, very talented Liverpool forward, that Kuma, whatever his name is, another Welsh player that will compare up in that sort of 3-5-2, 4-4-2 that Wrexham like to deploy, which is, we've seen what that can do in this division with a big man, little man like Kiefer Moore up top. I think they've got some good tacticians in the middle. Yeah, I think they finished 10th. I think they have a good year.
Gents, what am I not seeing with Wrexham? Because I'm looking at it, seeing Kiefer Moore and thinking he dropped off massively second half of last season to the point where I thought he actually struggled to get games at Sheffield United, who were themselves struggling towards the back end of the season. Kumas was at Stoke last year, did fuck all. Why is he going to be better? They've still got James McLean and stuff, and you think to yourself, these are not Championship standard players. There's a reason they dropped down in the first place, and that's the majority of their squad, if we're being real. Am I missing something?
No, you're not. All your points are extremely valid. They're the same points for the reasons why, I've got teams like Charlton and Blackburn finishing where they are, because I don't rate the signings Charlton have made, and I really don't like what Blackburn have lost. I just think they're a bit of a resurgence reaction. They're well too good for League Two, well too good for League One, and I just think that team, the team that they had that come up, in my opinion, stays up in the Championship. With how bad the teams are in the Championship at the bottom end, I think the team that come up would stay up. So with the additions of Kiefer Moore's not going to bag you 20 goals a season, but he'll bring some experience. He'll bring some leadership to the dressing room. And I think they've added that. I think they've gone and bought some experience. And with the money behind them and the team that they already have, I just think maybe that 18th finish that they probably would have with the team that they already had, they probably put themselves probably inside or just outside the top 10, in my opinion.
I think to add on that from my side, Ryan Hardy, obviously Lewis O'Brien. There's
massive signing Lewis O'Brien from
there's Championship players in there. And I think to Jay's point a little bit as well. Connor Cody as well at defence. Let's not forget. There's a lot.
He's not played football in like a year and a half. Who knows what they're actually signing?
Yeah.
Agreed.
Josh Windass too, throw into the mix. That there's, and Connor Cody has played a lot of games for Leicester, mate. So he was still playing last season for them. So I just think they'll have enough to be mid-table fodder, and there'll probably be a few goals in there, and they'll be quite direct by their nature with Phil Parkinson in charge, and be mid-table fodder for me.
Yeah, no, that's what I've gone with.
To have them above Middlesbrough is mental.
Which is why I put it for 9th.
This is mental. This is going to be mental. I'm going to get absolute pelters. The chat are going to go, what the fuck is... I'm doing this for content. Look, I don't give a fuck what you're thinking. If you don't like it, don't like it. Give me your own predictions. It's not going to matter. I ain't going to actually make these predictions in real life. It's not going to happen. But you're going to enjoy it. You're going to enjoy calling me a cunt. You're going to tune in to do that. So we win at the end of the day. But you've gone with Middlesbrough at 9th.
Yes.
Omar, as you said...
Did I give you my 10th prediction as well? So 10th for Stoke.
Yeah, you gave us 10th for Stoke. Yeah. So we're not doing any consensus until we get to the top one, and then we'll build them. I actually went with Norwich 9th. I do think they have a good squad. Still, I think their squad was very underutilized the last couple of years. I think they've got some really, really good technical players that could play expansive football. I actually think Liam Manning's a really good manager as well. He is probably the best footballing side I've seen down the den in many years. When Bristol City came to us on that Tuesday night, I think they absolutely bossed us, absolutely destroyed us. So I do think that they'll probably have a little bit of a slump, but they will come good throughout the season. I think it won't be enough to put them in the playoffs, but it'll be enough to, give them some encouragement. So I think 9th for Norwich.
Who have you got for 9th, Frankie, mate?
I'm going to do my 9th and 8th, mate. 9th, I've got Derby County. I think they'll have a decent season. I think that's pretty fair. They'll be a lot better at the top half. They'll maybe sniff playoffs at some stage, but never be quite in and around that conversation. And then 8th, I've got Norwich. I think they're a much better side than last year. Much better manager.
Just to add to the conversation with Norwich, then I've got Norwich 7th, so I might as well just give them now, Jay, because I do think they're going to. I think we're not previewing Saturday's game just yet, but I think they've still got a lot of quality in that side and a lot of goals for Josh Sargent as well. So,
okay, so we can probably backfill a consensus and put Norwich at 8th, seeing as we've got them 7th, 8th, and 9th. Let's go straight bang in the middle.
Let's do that. Sounds good. Sounds good to me. But yeah, I think they'll score goals. They'll be a handful going forward. Well coached, well drilled, etc. And I think Manny will do a good job there, but it's a project, not a instant success for me for Norwich. So I'll give you my 8th place then. I've got Leicester City 8th place. I think Leicester miss out the playoffs this year. A lot around them, obviously, finances, FFP issues, PSR, whatever you want to throw at it these days, any sort of the above. I think Leicester's obviously still got loads of backing. They've obviously got the decent squad to go with it that was in the Premier League last season. But I think there's going to be at some point a points deduction hit to them, isn't there? If it's not already, if I'm not mistaken. I do think that will affect them. And obviously, it's an interesting club. It's at the best of times, Leicester, but I don't know where they're going next. A lot of people leave, a lot of experience, but it'd be interesting to see where they go in the future. So that's my 8th place, Leicester City. Frankie, give me your 8th.
Norwich.
You've got Norwich, but I'll piggyback off of someone's going to interrupt there, mate. I'm going to piggyback off of your Leicester. Yeah. I've got Leicester 7th place, exact same reasons. The points deduction will hit a strange window so far. They're a worse side now than the side that went up. So,
and I've actually got Leicester in 7th as well.
Perfect. Did you give your 8th place one as well?
I haven't given you 8th place, but we'll put the consensus for Leicester at being in 7th place because we have 2 people in 7th.
If 8th place isn't QPR, I'm leaving this right now.
Jay, what have you got 8th, mate?
This is not going to go down well when this goes out. I've gone Sheffield United. You are going to, honestly. I've gone Sheffield United. I don't like Ruben Sellers. I don't think he's very good at all. I think they've lost a lot of experience. They've obviously lost Adzon Nanovic, however you pronounce his name, one of the better, more sure defenders in the league. He's left to go to final for £7 million. They lost Ryan Brewster as well. He obviously left the club. So they're quite hurting. Gus Hamer's another year older. He's another year seasoned in the Championship. I don't think he's going to be any better than he's been. I think his best days are probably behind him. I just think Sheffield United are going to have some adaptability issues. I don't think that their finances are in the best of order at the moment as well. That's why they're getting, some players are going. I don't think that they make the playoffs, especially with some of the teams that I've got above them at the moment. I've gone with Sheffield United at 8th.
Interesting. You're big on Louis Barry as well, ain't you? You like Louis Barry?
Yeah, I like Louis Barry. They've made some good signings.
Yeah. Okay, so where are we at, Jay? Have we got 7th covered as well? I've given you Norwich, haven't I?
Our 7th consensus is Leicester City, and our 8th consensus at the moment is Norwich. We haven't got consensus for 9th, 10th, or 11th, but we move on to 6th place. So while you come to me, 6th place now with the playoffs. Drum roll. It's cute. No, it's not. I've gone with Birmingham City. I think Birmingham made the playoffs. I think Birmingham, they've spent some money, but they've spent some good money. They've brought back some players that have, been really, really good in the EFL in the Championship. I like Birmingham. I don't like Birmingham, but I like what they're doing. I like what the money that they're throwing behind it. I like their team. We've had a couple of their players in the wish list for transfers that we spoke about, and why they'll be good Championship players as well, especially defensively and attacking. So yeah, I like Birmingham for the playoffs.
I can't believe QPR's what we mentioned yet. And if anyone listening to this, seeing this Mill podcast, we've not mentioned that club yet. I haven't got Mill sixth. I've got Birmingham in sixth. So there's your consensus pick for sixth place, Jay. I've got Birmingham City, echoing exactly what you said there. It seems like they're doing their business well. They've spent ridiculous amounts of money in League One, as we all kept saying last season. Going well in pre-season as well. Jay Stansfield's going to score goals at this level. Keep going through the team. Damari Gray's a great signing as well. It's just for the Championship. I think Birmingham will kick on this year, and they're another side when they're at home. I haven't mentioned my Sheffield United pick yet, but I think that'll be the same with Bramall Lane. St Andrews is a similar place where it gets going, gets rocking, and it'll be a tough place to go. Birmingham City. So that's Birmingham for sixth for me. Frankie, who you got sixth?
I'm going to segue on from that nicely, mate. You've got Sheffield United.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't think they're great, and I think they could drop out. And if you told me they finished ninth or whatever, it wouldn't shock me. But I do think Ruben Selles is a decent manager. It just depends how far they go down the route with this AI recruitment model and all that shit, and how much they want to self-sabotage.
You might want to put Sheffield United on fifth for the consensus, Jay, because I've got them finishing fourth. I want to throw it in now because I know we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves, but I've got Sheffield United fourth because I'm doubling down Ruben Selles. I think he's a very good manager, to be honest. And, I think he had a good impact, at Hull, didn't he, last season, I think. And I do think, what he done at Reading, what he's done at Hull, he's got that kind of, he seems to better clubs. It's going to be tough at Sheffield United with all the departures, but I think he'll maintain where they're at last season. They'll fall off. They won't be out chasing automatic promotion, I don't think. But I think they're going to do well in finishing the playoffs. Fourth place, I've got a...
Yeah, fair enough. Consensus pick for fifth place then.
Right.
So who did you have a fifth? So we're in fifth now, yeah?
Yeah, fifth place, I've got the Lions. Millwall finishing fifth place. There you go. I don't think we need to talk too much about Millwall in this show because we talk about them at length on Friday's live show. If you're not going to be around, be sure to tune in afterwards. But it's 8 p.m. on Friday. We'll be talking, giving our predictions, Millwall-related predictions such as player of the season, who will be young player of the season, but also previewing Saturday's trip to Norwich City. Various bits there. But I've got Millwall finishing fifth place. Where have you got fifth, Frankie?
Millwall.
There we go.
And you know what? I don't need to say anymore. I picked Millwall at fifth because viewer retention. So...
Fair enough then. I actually had Millwall finishing fourth.
Okay.
But we've got a consensus pick with Sheffield United at fifth, so maybe we remove Sheffield United and put Millwall as the consensus at fifth.
Or we slide down the teams a little bit. Can we do that maybe?
We could slide them. Let me see if I can slide them down.
Slide a couple down. I think that's probably the fairest way to do it, and just keep it that way, isn't it? I suppose.
So we'll have Millwall at fifth.
Mm-hmm. Sheffield United 6.
Sheffield United 6. And then it was
Birmingham, wasn't it?
Was it?
Leicester 7th. Norwich 8th. We lost Birmingham.
Yeah, we've lost Birmingham. Have you mentioned Birmingham just yet, Jay?
Yeah.
You have. And you've mentioned too,
Birmingham was the consensus at 6.
Okay.
I haven't done Birmingham yet, but I can give you my Birmingham now if you want, mate.
Where was your Birmingham?
Fourth.
Right, so we'll have Birmingham as the consensus for 6th. We'll have Millwall the consensus for 5th. We'll have Leicester the consensus for 7th. Sheffield United for 8th. And move Norwich down to 9th.
All right. I'll come back that.
Happy with that?
I think so, yeah. So fourth place. Who's it, Frankie, you've had, sorry? Fourth?
Birmingham City, mate.
Birmingham City. Okay.
Okay.
I've got Sheffield fourth. I've mentioned that already. Who you got fourth, Joe?
I haven't done my 5th yet.
Okay. Who's your 5th?
So you two had Millwall at finishing 5th.
Oh, he's going to fucking say it.
Hoops.
Queen's Park Rangers. Queen's Park Rangers are going to finish 5th in the Championship. I like that Julian Stefan. I think he brings that League One tactics with him. I love Kwame Poku. I love the Dembele signing. They've still got Jimmy Dunn at the back. They've got that big unit who comes off the bench, that big bald Fry, whatever his name is. They was the third. They scored the third most goals in the league from subs. They've still got a really strong bench. They need to get better at home, but with the new manager coming in, who's got some real good tactical pedigree, the signings that they've made, they've had one of the better windows in the Championship. They went on a bit of a resurgence as well at the end. I just think they get a lot better. They get a lot better, and I think they make the playoffs. If we're talking about certain teams like Millwall making massive jumps, like we have, I know it's not a massive jump from last year, but yeah, Birmingham are going to be the big risers for me. Oh, sorry, QPR are going to be the big risers for me. So QPR fans, when you tune in to this and you up our viewers, you'll save my skin a little bit, right? Go on,
Okay.
I'm here for it, boys. What you got for me?
I think me and Frank are giving our fourth place. I
Frankie
guess
looks like he's given up.
I assume you put Millwall fourth, Frank, Jay.
I've got Millwall
fourth.
finishing fourth.
Okay.
All I'm going to say, in any respect I had for you, Jay, is just, you've just taken an absolute fucking hammer to it, mate. I used to think a lot about your opinion. I used to value you as a friend. And then you put Birmingham in fourth or fifth, wherever it was, fifth place.
Sixth, I got Birmingham.
Oh, no,
QPR,
sorry,
you mean.
QPR. You put QPR at fifth. And now, do you know what? I'm really second guessing my judge as like a judge of character, and second guessing who I am based on what you've just said. Yeah. It might be worse than that. I'm being kind, if anything. That was horrific.
I'm going with it, and listen, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. I don't think this is on levels of bad takes. Then is QPR finishing fifth worse than Macaulay Langstaff being Gary Lineker?
No. But that's
If we're going on bad take, no, look, I just do. There's always that one team that is that riser. You go, fucking hell, they come out of nowhere, right? Cooper have had a really good window. Every signing they've made, it's always making the Twitter, the Twitter bods are out there going, this is a great sign, this is a great sign. I think QPR could be that team. Why not? I'm going for it. And if they finish anywhere above 13th, I want my flowers.
Well, I'm just 13th. If they get top six, do you know what? Fair fucks.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I've just looked at this. I'm on Bet365. I'm not saying bookies ever get it right, but just where the money's going for the top six finish, QPR are called most likely club to finish in the top six. Just beneath them is Preston, Charlton, Oxford, and Sheffield Wednesday. So the bookies don't think QPR are going to see
I lost you then, mate. So I don't know where did the bookies have them?
Sorry, so they had them finishing 20th in the top six race. So like they're 8-1, and beneath them is Preston at 10-1, Charlton at 12-1, Oxford at 14-1, and Sheffield Wednesday at 16-1. So for double your money, you could back Sheffield Wednesday according to the bookies compared to QPR.
Do you want to hear something mental? I think there's better chances of Sheffield Wednesday somehow getting bought over, turning this around and fixing it in January and staying up than there is QPR staying against top six.
I think there's more likely that Macaulay Langstaff scores 10 league goals this season for Millwall than QPR finishing top six. But there you go.
Let's not get carried away, mate.
Well, no, I'm just trying to say how I think that might be, as opposed to QPR finishing in the top six. But there you go. One of us will be right, or two of us, and one of us.
We're here for content. We're here for content. If we was to predict everything right, everyone would still call us wankers. So I might as well predict a wow moment and still get called a wanker. So I'm happy. But we've reached, we're in the top five now.
Yes.
We know our top four. Omar, you said Sheffield United. Frankie went with Birmingham. I meant with the Lions to make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Third place now. So now we're talking money picks, right?
Mm.
Who have you gone with third, Omar?
I've gone for Will Still's Southampton to finish third. Okay. So, yeah, I think there's obviously a lot of clamour around him. He's the football manager, player turned coach, turned manager, done it in France. He's coming over to England. Southampton, obviously, good squad still. But I just think there's going to be a team that you've mentioned earlier on, Jay, that you don't think are going to do very well because of their manager, that I think they're actually going to do very well this season, as opposed to what you think. So, third place, I've got Southampton. Frankie, over to you, mate. Who have you got third place?
Jay, where did you have Coventry, mate?
Yeah.
11th.
Yeah, I've got Coventry third. I don't rate Lampard, but I think that squad is very, very good.
Yeah. Who's your third place then, Jay?
I've gone with Derby County.
Fuck it, hell.
I've gone with Derby County. And listen. Right. I think John Eustace is a fucking good manager. I think he's a top 5 manager in this division. I think he's that good. I think the work he did at Blackburn, the work he did at Birmingham, he had them on the perennial of the playoffs, and what he did at Derby to keep them at Derby were gone. You know what he did to keep them up. He did a Harris job on them, like what Harris did for us. The signings they've made, that they're on the verge of signing Lewis Travis. They've, signed Andy Wyman. They've got Colton Morris in. They've made some really, really good signings, Derby, some big signings. And I just think Derby are a big physical side anyway. We found it really difficult to go and play at Derby. I think at home they're going to be really, really good. Eustace is a really good manager. He's a really good manager at not getting beat. And I think with the additions that they've made, I think they've signed some top-level championship players. They're on the verge of signing Lewis Travis. I think this could be them. They could be the other team that makes that jump. There's no reason. Nothing tells me why they can't.
Can you just take me through your playoffs, by the way, quickly? Who's the third to sixth? Just run me through it.
So third, I've got Derby, fourth Millwall, fifth QPR, and sixth Birmingham.
We win that playoffs, right? Surely.
100%. It's game over, unless we have to go to Derby the second leg.
Jay, can you them names you just called out of their signings so far? Can you just go through them one by one for me, please, mate?
Wyman, Colton Morris.
So Wyman was at Blackburn last year, who finished what, 8th, 7th, I think it was.
He's about 37 years old, ain't he, as well?
Yeah, he is. Yeah, but he has him. They've also got Abu Adams, who's one of the better, one of the best CDMs in the league. They've got a good keeper. I really like their keeper.
But they were both really there, mate. But
there was, yeah.
So Colton Morris, he finished at Luton 23rd.
Yeah.
Lewis Travers might be joining them. Looks like he is. He finished 7th. My biggest question with Lewis Travers, I think he's a good player. He went Ipswich on loan. Ipswich didn't buy him. Ipswich have come back down. Ipswich still didn't buy him. No one else has come in and he's gone for what, 1.4 million, I think it is. Someone better or someone bigger, no disrespect to Derby, comes in for Lewis Travis if he is that player. Also, I like Ebu Adams, but Ebu Adams and Travis might be the most Gary Rowett midfield pairing I've ever heard in my entire fucking life.
But you say that, Frankie. I'd say John Eustace is Gary Rowett Mark II, to be honest.
Better.
I would agree. I think he's better going forward than Gary Rowett. I think he does have a bit more of an attacking emphasis on his game. But playing that 3-5-2, Morris is still a good championship striker. He's physical. He's big. He suits Derby. That's a Derby County signing. It'd probably be a Millwall type signing. I don't think Millwall and Derby over the last few years would be too different in terms of the type of player we look to sign and the hostility we like to bring at home. Especially with someone like Harris in charge of Rowett, I think we'd be carbon copy for two sides, which is probably why you've seen the two sides finish low to the bottom, then creep up and have a better season. I think this year Derby can do that. I just think the signings they've made are really sure to go with some of the players that they've already got.
I think just to pick one more question from you. So are Derby like on 100 points and just missing out on the final day to the top two? Or
no.
Like, so the top two are gone. They're gone.
Top two are gone. And I think, I honestly think third, fourth, fifth and sixth, probably third to about 9th or 8th for me is going to be really close. We're probably talking late 60s, early 70s, and I think you're talking 90s for the top two. So I think top two gets wrapped up by like January, February. I think it's everyone's out of the race for top two, and barring a complete and utter capitulation, like we see from Sheffield United and with Leeds United. But I just think, I don't think that they're chasing for top two. I think they comfortably finish in the playoffs.
I disagree with the top two getting 100 points. I don't think anyone does that this year.
No, I don't think they get 100.
But to be fair, Jay, you might have just saved yourself by saying 3rd to 9th could finish anywhere. I had Derby 9th, and I think Derby will have a much, much better season. I think they will be in and about the playoffs. I think 3rd's very high. But if they got 6th, if they got 5th, that wouldn't shock me at all. So you might have just clawed back some credibility there, mate. Yeah,
I think that is my top 9. That's my player predictions. I think that they could all finish here, there, or everywhere above them. But if Derby County finish in the playoffs and I predicted them to finish 3rd, well, that's it, and it doesn't matter at that point. Our 3rd to 6th predictions doesn't matter if they finish in the playoffs. I think you're right about. So that's why QPR finishing 5th.
I'm just trying to work out where to put Derby on our bean calculator when I've got them 14th mid-table and 9th and 3rd. So it's a good variation, but we'll work that afterwards.
It is a good variation. Yeah, it is a good variation. So they probably finished 10th at this point.
Probably, yeah. I guess so.
I'm happy to go with a consensus of 10th for Derby.
Okay.
Personally.
Can we just okay? So we come out of this now. So I know we're to the final two. There's no point doing second and first. Might as well just say who our top two is, right? I've got Ipswich run away with the league this year, winning the league by a clear country mile. And I know we're saying no club's going to get 100 points. I think Ipswich might. Ipswich are just going to be way too good for this level. I don't know. I'll probably say late 90s, win it by a country mile. Coventry, I've got second, just lingering behind them. So yeah, we've not mentioned Coventry yet. Well, I've not. Obviously, you said about Lampard earlier on.
Wow.
I think Lampard carries them in the Championship, and I think they've got a very good set of players, like Frankie was saying earlier. I think Lampard gets slated on as a manager, and you could say rightly so. But there's a lot of extenuating circumstances you could put to it. When he was at Everton, look at Everton, the joke club for the last few years, and I think he kept them up. Importantly. And I think his time at Chelsea goes under the radar a bit, getting top four with them, and obviously at Derby, and obviously last season with galvanising that squad and moulding it and starting to make some signs this summer too. That looks like Lampard's kind of players. I just think they're going to go on and get second place this year, Coventry. So yeah, I've got Ipswich first and Coventry second. Frankie, over to you, mate.
I've got Ipswich winning the league. I think they probably are the best side in the league. I still have a big question mark next to Ipswich because I think it'd be interesting to see how they react. This is probably the first time since McKenna's been there that they're really facing any form of adversity, having to obviously step back, struggled in the Premier League. I'm not saying they will, but there is a half a chance that Ipswich do a Luton Town and really struggle this year. I can't see it myself because I think that manager's too good for it, but they've lost some big personalities like Luongo, obviously to our benefit. They've lost Sam Morsey, who probably butchered his last name. Lost the lap. That's some championship experience and a great striker in there. It could be a tough season for them. I still think they'll win the league, but it wouldn't shock me if they finish 8th or 9th. I know it sounds mental to say, but I think that's the state of the championship this year. And second place, Southampton. Do you know what? Again, I'm not sure it's a particularly great squad. I'm not sure it's a particularly great manager. Who knows? I think he's a little bit of a hipster manager, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And social media.
They've retained a lot, though. They've retained a lot of their Premier League players.
But they're not Premier League players, mate.
No, 100%.
And they weren't that good when they went up last time. If we're being completely honest, they weren't that good when they went up last time.
No,
Although Russell Martin was a terrible manager. So who knows? But yeah, I've got Ipswich and Southampton, but I've got big question marks next to both of them still, and I think they could both drop out in top two positions.
I think just to pick up on the Ipswich comment, I do get where you're coming from, but I think the signing of Ashley Young in replacement for the likes of Luongo and Morsey going.
Yeah,
I know he's 40, but he's got that experience that comes into that side. And, they've got obviously lots of Ali Al-Hamidi coming back into the sides in the Championship, who's not bad at this level. He was at Stoke last year, wasn't he, on loan? I think they've got enough there, and I think their signings when they went up to the Premier League, the likes of Jack Clark, the likes of Jacob Greaves, they're just players at the Championship that will, Hutchinson,
ridiculous, yeah.
And obviously, even the likes of Leif Davis who are still there, Sammy Smodzic.
Leif Davis got like 18 assists in the Championship last time, and Shimonik was the top scorer. So I think they're going to be. And I like McKenna.
Yeah, but I do take your point.
They've got the best squad. They've definitely got the best squad. It's just how they react to that getting relegated.
Yeah.
Can they switch on?
So Jay, over to you, mate. You're first and second, mate.
Ipswich, Southampton. Yeah, same. I think Will Still. I don't really get the hype around Will Still. He hasn't done anything. He's not managed a game, a minute in English football, let alone the Championship alone. He is kind of he's played out in a bit of a moody league. So it remains to be seen. But I do think Southampton, likes of Downs and, what's his name? That centre half they've got who's been there for forever and
Jack Stevens.
Stevens. So you've got Stevens there as well. I think they'll be all right, Southampton. I think that they're going to be a lot better than everyone else, but I still don't think they'll be good, which is why I don't think the playoffs is going to set it alight. I think it'll kind of be a scrap like it was last year for the playoffs from about 3rd to 9th or 3rd to 10th, and the top two will just run away with it. I think Southampton will be quite lucky to finish in the top two, but I do think they will do it.
Which is why I've got to finish your third. I mean, so I guess we're going to have to work out what our mean calculator is. I think we could do it a pinned comment in for the viewers to look at, Jay. So we'll go through that afterwards because we've gone on for about an hour almost. I think we've got quite interesting picks in there. Derby and QPR for me stand out as, big ones there from Jay. I've obviously got Hull City to get relegated. I don't think we all had Hull City to get relegated this year. And we've also got contrasting opinions on Wrexham. And also, we've all kind of doubled down on Birmingham doing quite well this season, obviously coming up from League One. So, yeah, it's interesting predictions from us. I think I'm going to open up to the viewers, to obviously, if they've not already, put their 1 to 24s in the comment section below. Let us know what you think of our predictions. Frank, you got any last words, mate? And let's try and move away from QPR and Derby getting the playoffs from Jay. But any last words?
Shall we populate it and then I'll screen share the table so people can actually see it?
Yeah.
Because we're missing. So we're missing. So I'll go with the consensus. Let's go with the consensus. So the consensus, we've got Ipswich first, Southampton second, haven't got anything for third yet. Coventry fourth, Millwall fifth, Birmingham sixth, Leicester seventh, Sheffield United eighth, Norwich City ninth, Derby County 10th, Swansea 11th, West Brom, Bristol City, Middlesbrough, Watford, Stoke, Blackburn, Charlton, Portsmouth, no one for 20th, Hull, Preston, Oxford, Sheffield Wednesday.
What clubs
we'll
you got
do
missing, mate?
Wrexham are missing, and someone else.
I think
QPR.
we'll
Wrexham and QPR. QPR is going to have to be the consensus to finish in 20th, and Wrexham.
I think you should put QPR above Wrexham then, based on when you work out a mean calculator. You probably should put Queen's Park Rangers a bit higher than Wrexham.
Okay, well, I'll put the mean as Millwall to finish in 4th, and we'll put Birmingham to finish in 5th. Leicester move up as well, and then we can drop Wrexham sort of in 9th place.
We'll work out after the show. That's what we'll do, Jay. And the viewers can then check the comments. The pinned comment on YouTube will have our worked out mean calculator. We'll do some number crunching, go through this and make it work. Any last words, Jay, before we wrap up the show, mate?
Just don't come after me until the season is, it's over. This is not a witch hunt, yeah? I have a family, all right? Think of men's mental health, all right? Don't come after me that bad. However, QPR fans, I will take donations, and Derby fans, I will, come on your show and pick you up if you want, all right?
Okay. Frankie, last words, mate, before I wrap up the show.
If anyone from QPR or Derby are watching, please don't get playoffs, because I've gone so hard in Jay. And I don't think I'll ever leave that down. So if you could just do me a favour, because otherwise I'll look like an absolute dick. So nothing else from me. Thanks, Omar.
I think we've all got Mill get playoffs, and if there's any neutrals watching this that aren't Mill fans, feel free to comment below what you think of Millwall. Why not? And be kind. We've been quite kind about various clubs today, so I'll leave it there. Thanks everyone for watching. It's been good fun going through this for an hour. If you've enjoyed it, please be sure to like the video, subscribe if you're new, and we'll be back on Friday for Friday Night Live. Thanks everyone.
Oh, giddy up and get away. Oh, we're going Millwall and we're going today. Here we go, rocking all over the dance.